Hello and welcome to the Sports Bench with Greg and friends. Tonight we're going to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers as we're coming up on the trade deadline in February and talk about the team so far as it's done in the season. So I've taken some time away from podcasting for a bit to talk about other things, but let's get back to the Lakers right now. So what are their needs? What are they talking about here at the deadline? Well, they need a good 3-and-D wing, and they're looking for a lob threat center, somebody that's athletic, can jump. Where have I heard this before? In fact, I've heard this for 7 years. Ever since LeBron has come to the Lakers, they've been looking for a 3-and-D, looking for somebody who is an excellent three-point shooter, somebody that's in the 40% range, somebody that can always knock it down out there. Well, guess what? They've never gotten one, or at least they come close, but they haven't hung on to them. Point in case right now, let's talk about that. Last year, JJ Redicks in the playoffs, and I've talked about this before, he played 5 of his starters, the original starters, 5 of them last year, for an entire half. Now, that is just disastrous in thinking. I don't know what JJ Reddick or his assistants, all those assistants that they must have about 12 guys sitting behind them. What are they? What do they do? My question. But anyway, their starting lineup: Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and they actually sat Jackson Hayes because JJ Reddick said he's not playable, because he can't play defense. This is crazy, okay? Now, this year, they're praising Jackson Hayes. Yeah, he's a lob threat. He's more athletic. He's doing some things this year that supposedly he wasn't doing last year, and I just don't get that, and I don't believe it. I think it's a bunch of bull, okay? Jackson Hayes was playing well when they won those games at the end of the year, but for some reason, JJ Reddick sat him. So, they're still looking for a lob threat center. All right, so I think they already have one, but they're talking about getting backups anyway. They're not talking about getting anybody really good that they have to pay a lot of money for. So they're getting Jackson Hayes' twin, I guess is what they're looking for. All right, that's one. Now, 3-and-D. I said this before, point in line. Last year, they had Jordan Goodwin, who was a 6'4 guard, who was an on-point guard, played good defense. He was a minimum player on salary, okay? They brought him in, and he played excellent for them. Played defense. He knocked down the threes when required. He did better than average with that. And so they had him, and they had Dorian Finney-Smith, a 3-and-D wing, played good defense, could knock down the three-point shot. They let him walk, and they substitute in with Marcus Smart. And Marcus Smart, about the same age as Dorian Finney-Smith. He's not as tall, but he was at one time a Defensive Player of the Year. So somewhere in Rob Pelinka's thinking and in Jeannie Buss playing in her desk with their dolls, figured out that let's go ahead and get Marcus Smart, because that's a smart thing to do. So they had, and as to do that, they had to let Dorian Finney-Smith walk to another team, and basically they cut Jordan Goodwin. Why? You need a guard like him right now, but they don't have one. Why? Because they let him go. So look at that. Phoenix picks him up, and he's put in and out of the starting lineup. He's played well against the Lakers. They got him for a freebie, So now they got Marcus Smart. They got LaRavia, who's been a good pickup they got from Sacramento. He's actually very worthwhile for his age and everything. He plays pretty well. He's hard-nosed defense. So, you did okay there signing him, but you didn't really add anything. Now, as the trade deadline is approaching soon, what do they want to do? They want to package Rui Hachimura and Dalton Connect for a 3-and-D wing. Well, you know what? Rui Hachimura is a 3-and-D wing. He played defense well last year. He does pretty good. He's 6'8". He's not small, and he can play defense fairly well. Is he an elite defender? No. But then LeBron James isn't anymore either. Think about their starting lineup. All right, just think about this, okay? So you've got the starting lineup out of the 5 players that the Lakers start with, and they've been starting lately Marcus Smart at forward, or I should say guard, to bring the ball up and to play defense on point. And they've got Aiden, as far as their center, But in watching him in all the Laker games, he's a pretty stiff guy. He's a 7-footer, but I mean by stiff, I mean he's just not fluid athletically. When you watch Jackson Hayes play, that 7-footer can get up and down the floor, and when he gets away for a runaway dunk, if you watch some of the highlight films, he puts it between his legs and dunk. He's an above rim runner. He's a guy that can get the lobs. He can run down the floor really fast. Ayton is nowhere near that. He's very stiff. He's almost mechanical the way he runs around, and he can't jump like that. I don't care what they say. Now, does he have a good touch near the basket? Yeah, he's a good offensive threat. But other than that, that's not what the really Lakers need. They already have plenty of offensive threats, so they say. All right. But out of the 5 guys on defense, you got Ayton, Marcus Smart. They're the only 2 that can play halfway decent defense. All right. Austin Reeves tries. He tries the best he can, but he hasn't been taught how to play defense. He's pretty light, and all the times other teams are playing against the Lakers, they're looking to try to get a one-on-one against Austin Reeves. So they pick and roll, and basically what happens is Austin Reeves gets swapped on, and then basically is a big usually, and he gets back down near the basket and he gets scored on. All right, they're looking for him on switches. So the Lakers don't teach basically breaking through picks or trying to stop picks. They go ahead and just let it happen like it's a cloud. They go ahead and just sit back, let the switch happen, and then the team on offense, on their defense is basically going to take a guy to task, whoever it is. So Austin Reeves is not a very good defensive player. Offensively, yep, he's a good player. He's a good passer. He's got a very high IQ. Now let's talk about the superstars. Let's talk about Luka Doncic and LeBron James. They are horrible on defense. All right. They're horrible on defense. Luka doesn't even try. I mean, the Lakers don't evidently teach stop the ball. When the ball is headed for the basket, someone's dribbling down the lane. They don't teach players to slide over in front of that player and make the ball stop and make him pass. I guess they're worried about somebody going to pass it to is going to make a 3. I'd much rather have somebody try to make a 3, which is a lower percentage shot, than have somebody dribble down the lane, gets fouled, or makes a basket, because LeBron James and Luka just stand there. A guy can be dribbling by their guy 2 feet away from Luka, 2 feet away from LeBron James, and they just stand there and just watch it go by. Hey, yeah, ooh, wow. Bad defense. All right, the Lakers should teach swapping over and maybe even try and take a charge. Can you imagine that? LeBron James or Luka taking a charge. I haven't seen that this season at all. All right, so defensively, JJ Reddick is not teaching this team to be a good defensive team. I don't think he has the coaches for it. I don't even know if they know what they're doing. My God, it's easy to teach defense. It's not that hard. You just have to have a willingness to play defense. Do you want to play defense? Do you want to lock down the man in front of you instead of just slide your feet, let the guy drive by you, and score? What's so great about that? Is all you're worried about is just scoring offensively? Is that all LeBron James and Luka is worried about? Well, you're never going to win a championship when 3 of your 5 starters can't play defense, and on top of that, LeBron James being 41 years old. Who can play defense at 41 years old in the NBA? Nobody, because LeBron's the only guy left playing at 41. All right, can't play defense. Now, talking about LeBron. All right, so did he ever play elite defense? No, he never did. Now, he made 6 all-defensive teams in his 21 years playing basketball. That sounds pretty good. During his prime with Miami, he was the defensive player. He was a good defensive player, not necessarily elite. It's good. So let's talk about in comparison, because we don't always talk about the GOAT and LeBron James. Kobe Bryant made the all-defensive team 12 years. 12 years out of his 20 years of playing, he was an all-defensive player. And you could tell he wanted to lock his players down. When he was capable physically and not too old, and before he got injured, he could still play lockdown defense. He was an all-around player, not like the GOAT, LeBron James, who doesn't play defense anymore and stands around. All right. You know who led making the all-defensive team in his career, playing less than 20 years? Tim Duncan. He made the all-defensive team 15 times. All right. So my point, all right, LeBron has never been an elite defender, and he's certainly not anywhere near a defender right now. You are going to go against athletic teams, Oklahoma City, Houston, San Antonio Spurs. These teams are young, and they're hungry, and they're playing defense. They're playing better defense because their 5 starters, at least most of them, can play defense. If you have 4 out of 5 starters that can play defense, play really good defense, you'll be okay. If one of the players doesn't, because he's a superstar scoring, well, they're willing to make that trade-off. But the Lakers are not going to win a championship. They are not when they have 3 of their starters and all they can do is score offensively. And the worst part of it is they don't buy into playing defense at all. They just watch and walk by and stand around. And then the only thing they're interested in is scoring and adding to your padding as far as that goes. And that's right now, LeBron James, what are the Lakers going to do at the deadline? Are they just going to go ahead and just swap out a 3-and-D and say, yep, that's it. That's going to take us to a championship? It's not. The Lakers are not winning a championship. They have the most outstanding scorer in basketball. The other night, Luka Doncic put up 45 points against the Bulls. That was pretty darn good. But he doesn't play defense, has no desire. All I have to do to play defense, I know it sounds simple, but is move your feet and don't turn your upper body. Put yourself in front of the player as best you can. Kind of like crashing a wave. When you're at the beach and a wave's coming toward you, what do? Do you stand there flat looking at the wave like this? It's going to come and flatten you out and you're going to be underwater. All right, what do you do when that wave comes? You turn your body, put one foot forward to the other, and you come up and you brace yourself against that wave and break that wave so it doesn't knock you down. Defensively, playing basketball, that's what you do. You have to think about the wave concept. Put yourself where you think the player is going to go. It's always a guessing game. The offensive player knows where he's going to go. The defensive player does not. He has to make the right guess. It's a 50-50 choice. But you want to try to get back in front of that player. Don't let him drive around you. Because once he's around you, they're going to score one way or the other. The guy's going to pass it off, get a 3-pointer or whatever. He's going to go to the basket, going to get fouled, maybe even make the basket and make it a 3-point play. The Lakers have to learn to play defense. The Golden State Warriors years ago with Steve Kerr, when they started on their championship runs, he taught that the buy-in to defense first over offense. He had to teach the Splash Brothers how to play defense. Draymond Green to play defense. And they learned how to do it. They became a very cohesive team in playing defense. The Lakers need to have that happen. And unfortunately, JJ Reddick is not a defensive guy. He was just an offensive player, a 3-point specialist. That's all he was in the NBA that he played. Now, I'm sure he knows how to play defense, but they're just not willing to push that forward because LeBron James, he's not going to listen to it, right? So at the deadline, instead of picking up useless switches, I think the best thing to do is, and I've said it in the past, let's trade LeBron James. Get him to move out. Because if you watch LeBron playing, he's playing basically, 6 minutes in the first quarter, and then he's going to the bench the rest of the quarter or toward the end of the quarter. Second quarter, he starts the quarter. Toward about the 6-minute mark, he goes to the bench. Then we go to halftime. Third quarter, starting lineup, he starts for 6 minutes, take a break. And then usually the fourth quarter, he's in there quite a bit. They're playing him too much, depending on him to come in and be able to stop players, play defense, and have the offense that they want. It isn't happening because he can't do that. He can't play those minutes, and he doesn't have a desire to play defense. The Lakers will not win a championship against these younger athletic teams that know how to play defense. They're not going to be able to do it. Once they get into the playoffs, they're going to lose. Because during the season, they're up and down. During the season, there isn't as much intensity as there is when you get in the playoffs. The intensity goes up mightily once you get in the first, second round, or even the play-in tournament. There's a lot of pressure there to win. Those teams know when then to turn it up. The Lakers is going to be the same thing. There's not going to have some magical player come in at the trade deadline that's going to be able to make up and play defense for the guys that are not playing defense and be able to win a championship. All right. That's my video for tonight. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. I so do. And if you like my video, please give me a like. If you like, subscribe. That would be great. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.